Hello and welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report with head men's basketball coach Joe Mihalich. Welcome, Coach.
Glad to be here and looking forward to a big week.
Coach, speaking of big weeks, last week was another big week for your program. 2 home games, a win over UNC Wilmington on Thursday and then a loss to Charleston on Saturday. Let's talk about the Wilmington game first. A 20-point victory, kind of just everything worked according to plan, I guess, kind of game.
Yeah, we played well. I thought we shot the ball well. We executed pretty good. Listen, we're an up-tempo team. That's how we play. It's fun to play that way. It's an exciting way to play, and we were able to get the tempo in our favor.
2 keys in that game that kind of stood out to me. Eli Pemberton, maybe, I don't know if it was a rut or just kind of sophomore year growing. He really broke out of that, and he's been playing really well lately. Can you talk about his efforts in that game against the Seahawks?
Yeah, I thought he just listen. No one loves Elijah Pemberton more than I do. No, well, maybe his parents, but I think I'm right after that. And I think his vice might be that he just thinks too much, and his parents would tell you that too, I think. And when he just goes out there and plays instead of thinks, he's a pretty good player, and I think that's kind of how he was this weekend.
Another key to that game was the talked about matchup down in the post. Rokas Gusty versus Devontae Kaycock, nation's leading rebounder versus our Hofstra's 7th in the nation rebounder. Rock had 17 points, 16 rebounds, really won that battle. Was that really the difference in the game?
Well, it was one of the keys for sure. I mean, I think, as a coach, you implore all your players to win their matchup. So I think that night Rock won his matchup. Hey, we're going to play them this weekend, and maybe Kaycock will win the matchup that weekend. I don't know. I wouldn't bet against my guy, but it's about trying to win your matchup, and whether it was Rock and the other team's big guy or point guard versus point guard, you want to try to win your matchup. And I thought Rock just really played some inspired basketball and showed that he's still a pretty good player too.
Speaking of Rokas, 2 rebounds. The first 2 rebounds he got in that Wilmington game gave him the school's Division I record. We've talked long about his unbelievable career he's had here, and it's one more check in that record book for him. Just talk about that record and just the continued just amazing career he's put together.
Yeah, now it's not that you can ever take your foot off the gas pedal. Rock won't do that. He won't do that. But now it's what has been talked about for so long as a finality. He is the all-time leading Division I rebounder at Hofstra, and one of the, I think he can, you know this better than me, I think he can get to, if not catch David Robinson, maybe can he get to second in the conference.
He is second.
He's second already, so there you go. So it's as I've said to before, he's rewriting the record books, and I wouldn't trade him for anybody. I mean, we just talked about Kaycock a little bit, and I have great respect for Kaycock. He plays hard, he plays with a lot of passion, and he's very productive, but I wouldn't trade Rock for anybody.
Saturday, narrow 1-point loss to Charleston in just an absolutely entertaining college basketball game. Just, I know it's a loss, but can you talk about just how great of a college basketball game that was?
2 really good teams. They're the best team in the league. There's a reason they were picked first. They have great players, really talented. And, it was 2 teams that went toe-to-toe and really played their hearts out. I'm so proud of our team. They played so hard. And, they made, you watch the tape and, they made some really difficult shots. I mean, we defended their actions pretty well, and they had some players just take a step back and make really tough contested shots, and you got to tip your hat to them when they do that. So, but of course we did that as well. I mean, one of those games where if they scored with 3 seconds to go to put them up 1, if they would have scored with 9 seconds to go, if we just had 5 or 6 more seconds, I think we get a shot off, we win the game.
Yeah, there was I don't know if it was back to back or how separated they were. There was the possession where Chile almost shot a 3 coming down and then the next possession, I think it was, where Justin Wright Foreman hit a 3 to put Hofstra back up 1. It was literally the 2 best players in the conference going back to back in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about Kaycock and from Wilmington and Rock, but Chile and Justin Wright Foreman, they're probably the 2 names you talk about for Player of the Year in the conference. And I'll say this too, I have great respect for Chile, but I wouldn't trade Justin Wright Foreman for anybody either.
So 1-on-1 week, where do you come out of that week? What are your thoughts as you head into this week?
Well, I mean, that loss is going to sting because it would have been such a, as you said, it was a great game, great night. The students came out. I mean, it was a night where we felt the crowd, and that was such a big thing. And I'm hoping that as we have the rest of these home games here, the crowd will come back because, you know, we got a great product. It's a great place to watch a game, and we play some exciting basketball. So I'm hoping everybody will come back. But you know, it stings, and it's going to sting. We you know, we could have beat the best team in the league, and we had a shot to do it, and we had a heartbreaking loss. But you know, in life, you got to deal with those things. You got to deal with failure and success, and you know, so we failed, and now we got to deal with it. And you know, we got to put that in the rearview mirror. So we'll do that, and we'll get ready for a big week.
Big week, 2 road games. They're all big at this point, but this is a really big road trip down south. Elon on Thursday. It's kind of the one team that you played this year in conference that maybe just handled Hofstra more than anybody else has in a very competitive league so far. What can you take from that game to kind of help you on Thursday?
You know, they had a great start to the second half, and it just created some space, and we dug a hole for ourselves there. And you know, when you play against Elon, it's no secret they got 5 guys that shoot the ball, so you have to figure out a way to guard that 3-point line, and not just 1 or 2 guys, as I said already, but about 5 guys. So you know, nobody's figured it out. Not too many people have figured it out. Hopefully, we can find a way to do that.
So I get you just answered my next question. The keys to victory on Thursday are?
Well, for sure, that's it. That might be the first, second, and third key is to guard them and guard their shooters and try to keep them from feeling good offensively, because I think they average 7 or 8 or 7 or 9 points a game. That's an awful lot of points. So you know, when you beat them, if you can beat them, you got to try to find a way to control their shooting, which is really hard to do, and then outscore. It's pretty simple.
So that game against Elon on Thursday, and then Saturday you head to Wilmington to play the Seahawks. Second time this season you'll be facing a team literally days after facing them for the first time. I think the Delaware games were almost the same sort of backup. So you'll be seeing the Seahawks, like you mentioned, again very shortly. Thoughts on the Seahawks game? I know you don't like to look ahead, but just overall thoughts.
Yeah, you know, well, we've already talked about them because we played them 2 games ago. So, you know, it's a great place to play down there. It's a great. It's probably the only team in the league that really draws well, and their fans come out, win, lose, or draw. Their fans are there. They have a great, loyal, supporting cast, and so, well, you know, we got to be ready. It's a great, as I said, it's a great place to play, and we'll be excited to play when that day comes. But, you know, you know how I am. I can't even think about that right now.
Well, Coach, good luck on Thursday. Good luck on Saturday, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us on the W. Mason Coach Report with head men's basketball coach Joe Mihalich.